Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I made it out of that small town that nobody else did. And I was just there about 2 weeks ago, and I saw the very reason why I wanted to escape. It wasn't to go to Brazil, although that's what I'm going to talk about this evening. You'll notice on the tables in front of you, most of you have photos from my trip to Brazil. I wanted to put those in front of you so you could just take a quick look at them. I'll give you about 10 seconds to take a look at them, and then I'm going to ask you to put them down and not pay attention to them. Because anytime you put things in front of someone, they're going to stare at it the whole time and not pay attention to you. So for anyone sitting in the room that's thinking, well, I'm never going to Brazil, so I don't really know that I want to hear this, think again. There's a moral to this, and I'll share it with you at the end. First thing I want to share is how I spent my time in Brazil. I lived on this boat. I've been there twice. A total of 18 days in my past 2 trips. So on this boat, there's showers, there's a full kitchen, there's a full staff, bathrooms, everything you can pretty much want in the common Western world. On that boat, we have a better life for those days we spend there and sacrifice, if that's what you want to call it, than most Brazilians do that live in the villages outside of Manaus their entire lives. Most of them never experience a warm shower. Some never have clean water. Others don't experience things like electronics as much as you might think. Although others have a laptop in this house, or a television with a satellite receiver. And that's come from Western influence. They never worried about TV before. Now, in that house, there's a simple thatched roof, there's no drywall, wooden floors, nothing to keep the bugs or the critters in or out. Whatever comes, comes, whatever goes, goes. But at the same time, you get to see views like this, which this picture cannot even remotely do this view justice. You'll see some of the most amazing sights you've ever seen in your entire life, going up and down the Amazon River. Now, my time was spent there on a mission trip. I'm not here to push religion or anything else. That's just how I spent my time. I want to walk you through some of the things that we did and provided them with that we take for granted here. One is dentistry. This is Eli and Lance. They don't do fillings. They don't try to cap things. They extract them. The difference for the Amazonian people in the villages could be life or death, because it could mean infection in their mouth. And the moment that infection sets in, the odds of them getting the real treatment they need are not very good. Now with that, anytime you're going to do things like that, you have to provide things like pharmaceuticals, things to make sure they're treated well, and that they don't get infected. We also provided medical treatment for them. Some of the most common things that you see there are worms, rashes, things of that nature where it's common sense for us to go and get some Neosporin and put it on it, or maybe some body powder, if you will, just to stop chafing. They don't have those materials available to them. Another thing that we did was women's ministry. And women, you'll appreciate this, the women could never really fully pay attention because they were too busy tending to the children. Much like moms could relate, getting things done isn't always easy with the children around. This is a group of men from the U.S. that were out by the soccer field, where a nest of butterflies was swarming. No one really knows why. They say when the butterflies come, it's going to be a good harvest season. One of the most amazing sights I've ever seen, just thousands of butterflies flying all around you. And you could stick your hand out and they'll just do swirls right around your hand. It's almost like they have amazing radar. One thing that really touched me while I was there, though, was the children. They were different than the children that we have in the U.S. Now, I say that because most of our kids are spoiled rotten. They tell their parents what to do, when to do it, and how to do it by the age of 5, which in my mind is ludicrous. These children made an impression on me because no matter what happened to them throughout the day, even if they did cry, it was a very short period of time. These are children that would have 3 teeth pulled from their mouth and walk away with gauze stuffed in the hole, smiling, blood dripping out of their mouth because they were happy to be relieved of that pain. I don't know about you, but I don't see many children in North America this way. It's simple things as well when you're there. This is Olivia, Eli's wife, Eli the dentist, or as we candidly call him, Eli the butcher, which he's not overly fond of, but luckily most Brazilians don't speak that good of English to know what we're saying prior to sitting down in the chair with him. This is Olivia actually making soap, which is kind of a big deal for them. Men's ministry was another big part of what we did. Now, much like the men in America, men there seem to have a problem with being faithful to one family. They have many families, maybe one up the river, maybe one down the river, or maybe they just have children and then never really take care of them or really care to take part in their lives. What I really want to talk to you about tonight is how we have the same problems. It's funny. Take away the advertisements, take away the TV, take away the designer clothes, the cars, the roads, take it all away. And at the core of it, we have the same problems. People are depressed. People are sick. People don't know what they're living for. What is their purpose in life? And at the same time, people struggle, of course. We could always do with more. Yet, in our Western culture, we find it necessary to think that we're suffering all the time. We don't know what suffering is, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, some of us may, but truly, how many people in this room have really suffered? I know I haven't, not even remotely. I was in an 8th grade class just 3 days ago, and we were talking to them about making money and budgeting. And one of the students was given a job and a budget, and he made his budget, and he didn't have enough money. Do you know what his response was? It's okay. I'll get food stamps. Now, to a certain extent, that is funny. Now, to another extent, it's really sad. They think that everybody gets food stamps, first of all. But second of all, that they think that just because they don't have enough money, somebody's going to hand them whatever they need. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. The worst part about that situation is, though, that job was very well paying. It wasn't even remotely near the poverty line. They just chose a lifestyle that was so lavish, they thought they could still get food stamps. Now, to these villagers in Brazil, the government constantly tells them, we're going to come, we're going to help you, we're going to provide you with what you need. They don't ever come. The only people they have consistently visit them, to care for them and treat them, are the Christians that come on that boat. And we walk away from that situation learning and appreciating them, I think, more than they probably do for us. So I say to each of you tonight, when you see someone on the road or you see someone that's down a little bit, take the time to stop and see how they're doing. What can you do for them? It doesn't matter where they are in life or where you are in life. You can make a difference for them. A big difference. Now, you may have never been in their shoes, but you surely can help them to be in a better place today. Mr. Toastmaster?